Alright everybody, back on my Colonial one. This is Sunday, June 28th, and what I'm going to be doing today is applying some of the decals to the Colonial one. I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I didn't have a chance to work on it yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on it today, so I can close this up. Once I get the decals on here, then I'll be able to apply the other two engines, run the wire through, hook that all up. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here on the Colonial one with the decals, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, back on my Colonial one. I forgot to mention in the last video that this is the start of part 6. I already applied the decals to the Colonial one. Turned out pretty decent. Only thing about the decals, as soon as you put it in the water, it wants to come right off the paper. So this just heads up for anybody building this kit and applying the decals. I had to take it out of the water like right away, but it still turned out pretty decent. And I have micro set and micro saw, and I use this on top of the decal so it'll sink into the model where there's different shapes on the model, where there's these patterns, and it's looking pretty good. The conning tower, I'm going to be working on that tonight. I'm going to be working on the cockpit and the observation windows in the back. I'm going to clean those up a little bit. I figured I'd share this with everybody, what I'm doing with the Colonial one. It's slowly getting together. I'll probably have these decals set for a couple days before I apply the two rear engines, just to make sure it gets a good bond. But I'll continue on working on this tonight with the conning tower. I figured I'd share this with everybody, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, back on my Colonial one. This is Wednesday, July 1st, and what I'm going to be doing tonight with the Colonial one is applying these engines on the back here. One goes here, and then on the opposite side. A couple days ago I did apply the decals. Little patience and took my time. They went on real decent, and they got a nice little shine to them. I worked a little bit on the conning tower with some perfect plastic putty for the windows, and I think it turned out pretty good. I got my magnetic wire out that I'm going to be using for those engines right here, just so I can run it through here and down through the bottom. So that's going to be a nice little challenge to do, but I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Figured I'd share this with everybody, what I'm doing with the Colonial one, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, back on my Colonial one. This is Friday, July 3rd, about 9:30 in the evening. Working on the Colonial one again tonight. What I did the last couple of days is that I mounted the top engines right here, and they mount it really good. I'll light it up here in a minute so everybody can get a look at it. It looks pretty cool. I'm still working on the conning tower. I won't mount that till maybe sometime this weekend. Over here is the switch that will go in for the switch that will go on the main base. This is the female plug that I picked up from HDA Model Works, and I didn't know what end was negative and which was positive, and I contacted HDA Model Works, and Jerry was really cool, sent me an email. The long end is negative and the middle one is positive, so if anybody buys these female plugs for a base and you're not aware of it, now you will be. I also picked up from HDA Model Works this wire wrap. I'll use this on my next model. got it in red and black. 721 feet per roll, and it's 28 gauge. It shows right here. Above is 30 gauge, below that's 28 gauge. It looks like it's as thick as this magnetic wire here, so it should work out real well on my next kit. I'll pick some more up to have more in stock. Back on the Colonial 1, I'm going to go ahead and put some power on. Turn the overhead light off, and it looks pretty cool. That's at 9 volts. Turn it around here so everybody can look at the engines. And on the bottom, turn this around. Everybody can get a look at the back side. Looks pretty cool. I'll bump it up to 12 volts. That's 12 volts. Let's see, get a good shot here. I think it looks pretty cool with that flickering effect for the rear exhaust. Another shot here. I figured I'd share this with everybody, what I've been doing with the Colonial 1, and I'm going to continue on working on this tonight. And everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, back on my Colonial 1. This is Friday, July 10th. Over the 4th of July weekend and a week after that, I worked on applying the decals on the Colonial 1. And I had no problems applying the decals. Everything turned out really nice. Figured I'd give everybody a show of it, what it looks like and how it turned out. Next step I'm going to do is mount it to the base. Also over the weekend I applied the power switch and a female plug, and on the inside here everybody can get a look how I got it set up. Got it all wired and ready to go. So tonight what I'm going to be doing is working on wrapping this up with the Colonial 1. I already tested the lighting and everything works fine off the 12 volt converter that I got from HDA Model Works. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and before it gets too late tonight I should have this all hooked up to power, and I'll film that as well and call it a wrap. And I figured, like I said, I'd share this with everybody, what I'm doing with the Colonial 1. And everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, back on my Colonial 1. I finally mounted it onto the base. It's hooked up to some power. I touched it up a little bit with some paint. And I can say this is a final wrap on the Colonial 1. It was a nice little challenge. I liked the turnout. I'm going to go ahead and turn the main power on. Turn the overhead light off. Let everybody look at the engine effect. I think it turned out really nice. One thing I did do is keep the blast guards in the down position instead of up. Let's see, get a better look here. I really like how the 5mm white flickering LED worked out with the 2mm fiber optics that I used for the engine effect. Turned out pretty decent. And there's a better view of the top. Turn this around here. Get a front view here. And let's take another look one more time at the rear of the ship, which looks so cool. Let's get that off there. There we go. Well, I'd like to appreciate everybody viewing my build on this Colonial 1. I'm going to call this a wrap, and everybody have a good day.